I'm Albert Marion. I'm hospital corpsman first class, and they sent me to the Spinax. And I was on that for 2 years. And I was left the Spinax, I was relieved. I was up on the Nereus on the tender, waiting for a duty to back to the Naval Hospital. And the Spinax came back in from overseas. And this one corpsman on that had shipped over overseas and sent all his money home. And when he got home, she had spent all the money, and he found her in a bar. He got so bad that he hooked up the exhaust in the car and committed suicide. And so I was a tender up there ready to go to shore day. They called me down to go down to the Nereus. So I was down there for 6 weeks. And they didn't have no after torpedo room. And man, that was a lot of room extra there. So when I back after 6 weeks I was at the Naval Hospital. I don't know how this ever happened. This fellow I knew back in Newport, Rhode Island, he went to officer candidate school up there, and he became an officer, and I've seen him a couple times with it. And he must back, I don't know if he was hooked to the submarine service, but he called me at the hospital one night. We kept in contact. He said, "What submarine you want?" I said, "The Spinax." He says, "You got it." Man, I just couldn't believe it. So I spent my 2 years on the Spinax that way. Well, I guess nobody knew my name. They always called me Doc, and still do to this day. But it was a privilege to be aboard the submarine and take care of the men that way. That was usually good. But everybody steamed pretty well. I mean, there was colds was that they're all given medication for that. So otherwise, everything went pretty good. I can remember, it was just neat there. I used to put my work at nighttime when everybody's in bed and do my charting and so forth that way. And one thing I did aboard ship, when you had to give the shots, you can't chase guys all over the ship to get the shots. It's just hard to find them. So always at payday, when they come to the line, they didn't miss payday. They got their shots. One thing that had me as being the corpsman aboard was getting the ship, getting how many cartons of cigarettes the guys wanted aboard ship. And I didn't smoke. What a job to get that way. So I got what they call smoke signals. And they have maybe 4 cartons that I'd put the smoke signals, so tell them to quit smoking and put a rubber band on it. And I can remember the XO saying, "Hey, quit giving me this stuff. We'll get me out of this job. You won't get that anymore." But that was, we sold the cigarettes to them. We bought them for 90 cents, and we sold it to them for $1 a carton. We made 10 cents for the ship's fund. Enjoyed every bit of it that way. Different ports we got. I can remember, let's see, where was it? One of the guys that was a corpsman there, they always wanted to go over to Japan here and get their spare cord cut. And so 3 of them would over to do it. And it was only $25 in those days. And one fella, he had a bleeder, and his testicles got up like a grapefruit. To go to the hospital and get that. And he's never been to one of our submarines yet, so it's not the way. But then one of the fellows, one morning, I heard a guy puking in after battery, and he's puking, and I was up drunk that night, you know, and puking all over, and I got mad and made him clean up that mess. After a while, he come complain to me. He got, "Hey, my belly is hurting so bad in here." I said, "Gee, does he have appendicitis?" And I took him, that was in Manila, so I took him up to our embassy there, the doctor there, and he checked him up. Said, "Yeah, I think he does." And they sent him up to Subic Bay in the Philippines and took his appendix out. And when we got up to Subic Bay, then he hit us back on a boat again. Remember, we were over swimming. We were swimming with a destroyer up, I don't know, out the Philippines, out someplace out there, and back for one fellow, he ripped his, off the ball planes, he ripped his foot open, and I got him down and we sewed it up. And seemed like we give him antibiotics that way, and went back to Manila that way, or I can't remember where it was. And they went him up to the doctor, and the doctor, oh, got looked at it so much infected, he opened it up, spit it up, and the pus all come out. He said just soak it in hot water and stuff that way to help get it that way, to get it healed up. It's funny how different things happen that way. So it was so hot there a lot of times. It was hot down on the submarine. We'd take our mattress up and kind of sleep on top of the deck. And then the mosquitoes got so bad it chased us back down. But, one morning I woke up and here was a cook with a meat cleaver over my head. Doc, I want off the ship. No problem. I got him off and got him up to the hospital, and they kept him there in the psych ward, but I found out later he wanted to get off the ship. And the XO said, you wait till you get back to San Diego. So he got his way whether he wanted it or not. There's XO. Oh, it was great. I mean, you couldn't ask for any better service than I had over there. I enjoyed it. Every time I was overseas, any place before, I always used to go into church. So I went to a church there. In fact, in Hong Kong one time, I went to church and a doctor invited us home for lunch. There was a chaplain. He was out of troop transport. And we went to church, he invited us home and he got to talking. He was a personal physician for his wife, Chiang Kai-shek's wife. Yeah, I don't know if you ever heard of Chiang Kai-shek back in those days. He was a personal physician for his wife. And that was really an honor to think, hey, we had dinner with this fellow at his home. He had servants to take care of us that way. But just going to different places and to church that way, he just met people that way. And it was really helped pass the time. I remember in Singapore, I took a fellow up the crew up to there. We were hooked up to a British submarine tender. I took him up there to the sick bay, and the guys up there mentioned, hey, you want some tea? No, I don't drink tea. You want coffee? No. You want some Ovaltine? Ovaltine? That was what old Jack Armstrong, Little Orphan Annie, was on the radio. And used to get that. And they gave me a great big container of that Ovaltine, different than ours that we put in the United States, but I nursed that back to the States. That was it. Then, okay, I remember one other thing. I went to Singapore there. I went up to the church mission up there. They had a boarding school for all the missionaries in the Far East that they send their kids. So I got permission from the XO to bring these kids down to the submarine, get up had to go to the sub-tender and get down to the submarine, and got it all fixed out for them to come down. And the morning that they're supposed to bid and come down to visit something, because the guys, they're always looking at slant eyes. They want to look some round eyes, they called it. The XO woke me up and says, you got to cancel this. All the officers got drunk last night and they don't want to get out of bed. And they couldn't visit with the guys in bed though. So, this is days before cell phones. How in the didn't think I had to get up to tender, and I must have had the phone to call it there to tell them to cancel it and everything. I never had any trouble that way. I did get a little sick with a diesel fumes at first, but it seems I got over that. But that was the worst part of it. But it was good duty, and that's the same thing. I just enjoyed it that way. Never, I couldn't say anything bad about it. I know I had my daughter and family come down and eat once in a while, and my daughter, oldest daughter, she couldn't take it. She had to put a fan on her to get it some air to her. She felt claustrophobic. I was on it for 2 years, and I had my 20 years up, so everybody had to get dressed up there for me to ship me over and get me off the board. So, and I could say I enjoyed my 20 years in the Navy. I wanted to stay in San Diego. My wife said that I followed you for 20 years, you can follow me. So we ended up in Townsend, Oregon,